Hey everybody, welcome back to another butterfly tutorial. I'm Ryan with the Embroidery Warehouse. So a lot of our customer base is generally new to the craft. You know, they haven't been embroidering for a while or they haven't been embroidering at all. So they don't know necessarily what all these machines can do. What's really cool about embroidery machines is they're super versatile. So on top of doing hats, caps, beanies, flat fabrics like shirts and polos and hoodies and stuff like that, a lot of customers don't know that you can do drapery on there, or even in this case patches. So cool thing about patches are this machine is basically set up to where you can do an entire grid of them, and it just makes it super easy for production. So today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to produce patches. So you may be asking, Ryan, what do I need to make patches? Well, first, you're going to want some iron-on backing, small scissors like these so you can get in those little nooks and crannies while you're cutting out your patch. Big fabric shears because, I mean, you're cutting fabric. You just really need these in general. Your hoops. You can use your sash frame if you want to with this. And then, please don't throw that at me.
You sure?
Yeah.
I have really good throw.
No, please, stop. All right. And then you'll want, just a standard iron. Just as long as it holds water, because you'll want a little bit of that steam to activate your iron-on backing. And then, of course, you're going to need some backing. You can use really any kind of backing. We're going to be using some tearaway backing today, and you'll see why here in just a little bit. You also want kind of a thick material, like felt or denim, just any kind of thick fabric, just to be able to hold all those stitches in and make it nice and rigid, kind of like this. So once you get all those together, we can make those patches. First, we're going to cut out some of this backing so it fits in our frame here. Set this aside, grab our felt fabric here. You don't have to be pretty with this, but you're going to be cutting it all out here anyway. We're going to get rid of some of this excess. That'd be neat. So I can do like just put it on my head and have a perspective. So we're going to be doing this today on our Butterfly 1501. So I was gonna, what are you doing? Come on, get closer. Come on, don't be shy. Can we get a better view of the screen? So we're gonna show you really how the software works to help us basically make a grid of all the patches that we want to do, because if you're doing production, you'll want to make as many as you possibly can. So what's really cool is we'll go in here, and on this screen here, this is where we're going to set up our grid. So we have all our scaling, all our positioning correct. Now what we want to do is set up how many times we want this thing to sew out. So we have this little neat feature here where it says repetition times, and you can choose your X and your Y axis. So we'll have to do a little bit of math, but that's fine. Let's say we want to do like 6. So we'll do, I don't know, 3 across. So we'll set 3 for the X axis, and then 2 for the Y axis. So we'll have a total of 6, but we'll have it where it's 3 across and 2 up and down. And so underneath there we have the repetition interval, because look at this. If I hit this button here, it's going to give us a preview of everything that's going to be sewn out, which, wow, looks like there's only one thing being sewn out now. But if we change this repetition interval, let's put it to 50 by 50. Let it load up here. So you notice now that there's more than just one being sewn out. So we want these guys to be spaced farther apart because we want to be able to cut around them and make sure everything looks nice and clean. So we can adjust this interval a little bit more. Say 75, what does that get us? So that's a little bit better, and there's a little bit of guesswork in here just to judge how many millimeters apart you want them, because it's going to base it off the center of the design, how far you want the centers of the designs to be off from each other. So they're good height-wise. So now what we can do is we can actually, with the Y-axis, kind of increase it a little bit more. Actually, let's keep that 75. They're kind of close together on the X-axis, so we'll raise that up to something like 90. We'll see where we're at when we do our little preview here. So that seems perfectly fine there. We could get them a little bit closer just to be a little bit more efficient with our fabric, so we'll bump that back down to about 85. Do one more preview just to get a better idea of how everything's going to be sewn out. So yeah, it's looking good. So next we're going to go on to pick the colors. So we're going to go on to screen number 3. So it's all one white color right now, but if we go through here, we can change all the different colors to whatever we want. So what's really cool is the machine's colors are matched up to our thread spools that we have actually on the physical machine. So we go through here and say this black's going to go for the center heart here. Let's do kind of like a paint color. So we'll go with this guy here. This darker right here, let's go with red. And why don't we do one more red for this outside heart. So it kind of looks like that. And we'll go back to this outline, and we want to make that outline dark to have that contrast. So we'll hit it, make it black. So one shave and wardrobe change later, we have our patches printed out. So, you know, I mentioned before to use tearaway fabric. What I do is I normally double up on it, so we just get a little bit more rigidity behind it. But whenever you're done getting everything sewn out, all you gotta do is just tear it away, hence the name tearaway fabric. And that just makes the cleanup a lot easier. So you don't have to cut around all that tearaway cutaway at the very end of it. So we're gonna go ahead and cut these guys out. Now, tearaway doesn't always work for doing patches. Sometimes if you're using kind of a thinner fabric that's not, you know, like felt or denim or something like that, you may have to use a thicker backing to give your patch a little bit more structure. So we have this cutaway backing here that we could use. And the only downside to that is you're gonna have to cut cleanly around the edges so none of that cutaway shows behind your original fabric. Okay, so we're on the final stretch now. We have our completed patch. We have our bonding material that we have here. You want to get it cut out to the general area of your patch, just so when we lay the iron down on it to apply the adhesive on the back of it, you want to make sure you get full even coverage. So let's show you how to do that now. So we have our patch and we have our iron-on adhesive. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the adhesive on adhesive side on the back of the patch. Make sure you have the adhesive side. It's going to be a little bit more rough. and the paper part's going to go upwards towards you. So what you want to do from here is lay that down onto a flat piece of fabric here on like a nice flat surface. And we'll take your iron, make sure it's not heated up all the way because that's when you'll start melting and burning stuff. Just have it about halfway and it should be good. But go ahead and apply even pressure down onto your patch for about 3 to 5 seconds. Okay. Once that's good, we can kind of peel it away from that scrap fabric and peel it away from the patch. And there we go. Got you an iron-on patch now. All right, so that's everything. Hopefully you learned a new skill today. As always, thank you guys for watching, and have a great, fun, and safe Valentine's Day. Thanks.